107.5, The Game Podcasting, is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests.
We talk a lot this offseason about, okay, what's the offensive line going to look like? How the receivers going to be? We just now know that Rasul Faison's going to finally be a running back. And regardless of all those questions, when you have 16 at quarterback, you feel confident that you can always rely on him to make magic happen if nothing else is happening around him. We hope that doesn't have to be the case. We hope these other guys step up and play their roles, but you're always capable of doing something great with Lenore Sellers if it comes down to that.
Yeah, it sounds like Brent Pry's been doing his homework. The fact that, he knows that 16 is an elite level quarterback and arguably one of the best in college football, if not the best quarterback in college football at the moment. He knows that he can break the game, right? And that there's things that, we may not have seen him do yet that he's capable of doing. And so I think he's got his team prepared for it. He also mentioned the progression that the wide receiver room should make this year, and the leap and the bound and Harbor, not necessarily run a track and all the things that he's supposed to become. I think, Pry has his guys, I guess, aware of it. And again, that's the magic of 16 is that you really don't know what you're going to get. So you be prepared for everything.
I do think it's interesting. We look at this game on paper against Virginia Tech, South Carolina, depending on what services you're looking at, a basically 7.5 point favorite here, right? And we look at the rosters and what we expect the depth charts to be, and I'd say South Carolina has a really good chance at winning this game handily, right? And I won't spoil my score prediction quite yet that you can hear about on Friday and read on GamecockCentral.com, but I think Carolina is going to win this game by a couple scores. I feel pretty confident saying that because I believe in what this team has, and I just don't know enough about Virginia Tech on the other side to say with a lot of confidence they're going to be able to do this or that and give South Carolina consistent problems. I will say that week ones have been pretty rough for Coach Beamer and company. In the 4 prior seasons, week 1 has always stuck out as a problem game. Now, they've only lost one of those. That was to North Carolina back in 2023, and that was, of course, the game that, Spencer Rattler got sacked 9 times in, which we didn't know at the time, but that was going to be setting the tone for the consistent problems throughout the entire season for South Carolina. But you look at the other games in 2021, you had Eastern Illinois, and again, they were just a god-awful FCS team, so you couldn't really glean a whole lot from that. But in 22, you played Georgia State, and that was a team that had a lead on you in the third quarter, and Carolina ends up pulling away and winning by 3 touchdowns, but it didn't feel like that at the end of the game. Mentioned the 9 sacks against North Carolina, and last year, your offense couldn't get in gear at all, right? You were helped out by key takeaways by your defense at the beginning of and end of that game to help South Carolina get the victory. Now, of course, we know Beamer teams click things into gear and get things rolling as the season goes along, and thankfully are playing their best football once the month of November rolls around. But when you start off the season this way, not only against a Power 4 opponent in Virginia Tech in week number 1, but having 4 of your first 5 opponents be from the Power 4 ranks, that's concerning. Just given the track record of this program, past handful of years, and how they start the year. Again, in the Beamer era, they have won 2 games against Power 4 teams in the first month of the season.